Good evening and a very warm welcome. I just want to do a couple of sound checks just to check that you can hear me and also see my screen. So I'm just going to check across to my manager, and that seems to be working fine. So I hope you can see the Emotional Intelligence Mastery webinar and you can hear me clearly. So a really warm welcome and thank you so much for coming along this evening or this morning or lunchtime or wherever you are in the world. I know your time is extremely valuable and the next hour is going to be very worthwhile for you. I talk really fast, but don't worry. This is all recorded for you if you miss some of the bits and pieces, but you might like to have some pen and paper to hand just so you can jot down some notes. So let's get started. The Emotional Intelligence Mastery webinar. So really, I just want you to imagine right now designing a life that you create, one that isn't living in the past anymore. Imagine what it would look like, where you are, perhaps who you're with. How do you feel? What do you see? Just let your mind wander for a moment. There are actually two mentalities in life. You can live a life by reacting to everything and everyone in your life and being completely tied by your past behaviours, or you can be proactive and choose your destiny. What I want to know is which one will you be? The key to happiness and success is really becoming emotionally intelligent, and this is something we are not taught. You are all such courageous people. Every single one of you is an incredible human being, and I know you're here because you want to be a better version of you, but you're just not quite sure what to do. And I'm guessing that you've tried many things before. Books you've devoured, looking for that magic at the end. Courses you've waded through, hoping for that golden key. Programs promising you that you'll feel better. You've worked really, really hard, I'm sure. You're really determined, I know. So why has so little honestly changed in your life? And you know, it's actually really simple. Your life is run on habits. These are automatic programs. And you just simply don't know how to change these programs. I'm just going to give you a very brief background here. We've got two minds. The conscious mind, which is responsible for thinking and making decisions. This part of the mind only runs 5% of your behaviours, and the subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your behaviours and is where all of your habits, these automatic programs, are stored. So you can see very simply, if you've got a habit or a program which has been created through repetition, for example, by people constantly telling you how awful you are, that was one of my programs, or how useless you are, yep, another of my programs, or how thick you are, yep, you've guessed it, another of my programs. Well, this habit or program will drive every single behaviour in your life, regardless of what you might think and regardless of how determined you are to achieve something. This is why most people constantly fail with battling with their weight, repairing their relationships, increasing their financial position and improving their health. They're running on automatic programs that aren't even theirs. They are someone else's that they have learnt. But the fantastic news is anything that has been learnt can be unlearnt. That's the power of the mind. So how do I know you might be living in the past on these automatic programs? Simply because you keep repeating the same old thing, expecting a different result, and you've got no idea how to access or change these unwanted habits and programs. My guess is you wake up in the morning and before you even open your eyes, the first thing that comes to mind is a problem. Your problems are actually memories in your brain, and each memory is connected to a person, people, or a situation. The brain is a record of the past. So as soon as you start your day, you're already thinking in the past. And guess what? You're going to get exactly the same future. And if your relationships and finances and health issues have been the same for the past 2 years, and you've tried different things, guess what? Your future will continue to remain the same. So who resonates with this? Go on, give me a yes in the chat box. Because I tell you now, it really is time to do something different. And I want to share with you a little video here about Victoria, who came to me when she felt at her lowest in life. She previously run a very successful business for over 25 years. But last year, her business had lost $430,000. She was trying to sell her business, but within a few weeks of working with me, she got her business back into the black. And now she's profitable again. Now, I didn't help her with strategies or numbers. I helped her with the best tool she has, her mind. Because once she had learned how to change her mindset towards herself, her business completely turned around. That's the power of changing your mindset. Here's Victoria.
Hi, I'm Vicki Betancourt, and I worked with Louise for about a year and a half. When I first started working with Louise, I was in the worst shape I had been financially in 25 years of business. I had lost my top 3 clients, I had legal issues, I basically lost all of my retained earnings that I had saved over 25 years. My top producing recruiter left and took all of our Northern California clients with her. I felt devastated, and I was running my business on my line of credit. I didn't know if I could survive. And Louise was the voice of reason, the person with experience, who was my wise counselor. And she really helped me get back on track in a very practical and pragmatic way. She wasn't just woo-woo, just think and it will happen. But mindset, of course, was one of the primary things that we had to work on because I had lost my self-esteem. I didn't even think that I could call people up and invite them to lunch. I was feeling that bad about myself. I thought I couldn't remember how to do anything, how to run my business anymore. And together we were able to get things back on track with a combination of different things that Louise helped me with. Of course, action as well on my part, but I can't say enough about Louise in terms of how adept she is as a counselor, especially for business people, since she also has that kind of experience. Well, today we are $100,000 to the positive in terms of net profit, which is pretty amazing. So completely back in the black, and I couldn't be happier. And I would definitely recommend Louise to anyone. Thanks.
So who am I? I'm Louise and have experienced the absolute low in relationships, with a hugely destructive relationship with my mother for most of my life, to celebrating over 30 years of marriage with Ian, my husband. I really felt it couldn't get much worse for me. My mother telling me she didn't love me, my eldest daughter walking out of my life as she felt I was the exact replica of my mother, having actually spent 19 years trying to be the opposite of her. Suffered huge financial difficulties and serious health issues. And for most of my life, with these destructive relationships, anxieties and depression, I had no idea where I was heading. I felt alone and full of shame and really didn't know what to do next. I tried everything I thought possible, but nothing ever worked. That was until I sought out the right mentor I connected with. And from this place, I healed a totally destructive relationship with my mother without speaking one word with her. I repaired the relationship with my children. My anxieties faded into the background as I developed a clear path as to where I was heading. And for the first time in my life, I felt pure happiness, joy, lightness, and peace, whilst enjoying a really deep connection with myself and the world around me. And more than anything, I really want this for you. And this really has led me to the path of the emotional intelligence mastery, because simply my transformation was so incredible. I gained several professional qualifications and now help others all over the world heal, grow and transform. So I created a very successful business, the Emotional Intelligence Mastery, using the successful step-by-step processes, helping men and women all over the world heal their past wounds so they are no longer driven by negative thoughts or self-sabotaging behaviors, but able to tap into their positive resources, create new behaviors and thought patterns, see the world through a new lens, create long-lasting, deep relationships, whilst gaining the clarity to design a path that is in total alignment with themselves. This transformation has been so profound in not only myself, but also all of my clients as I drive forwards to help more and more people worldwide. And tonight I'd like to share with you a very brief outline of how you too can heal from your past destructive emotions and grow from a place of love and joy, so your entire life will transform into one of meaning and belonging to connect with this very busy world that we live in today. And this is why I really want you to learn how you can heal, grow and transform your life. And you can be the master of your emotions, because using the emotional intelligence mastery techniques, you can learn the skill of understanding your emotions as they occur and evolve actually in any circumstance. I've put together a really comprehensive guide that is going to help you to start your healing journey right now, today. So if you stay to the end of this webinar, this is yours for absolutely free. And not only that, I'm going to give you a really powerful hypnosis recording that's going to fill you with confidence as soon as you start listening to the recording. And I really want for you to start creating what you want right now, not next week, now. So, what is emotional intelligence? And really, emotional intelligence is truly understanding yourself so you can master your future and stay in the present moment. And this will allow you to not be dictated by your past. You are not brought up to understand your emotions. You're taught in school how much emotions work and how they actually run 95% of your life, but you're not told anything about this, and that's absolutely crazy. You're taught to listen in class. You're taught to use your eyes and see in class, but you are not taught anything about your emotions. So if your emotions are driving your life and it's not going in the direction you want it to be, wouldn't it be a good idea to change the driving force? So by understanding your emotions and why you think and act as you do really allows you to make any changes needed to enhance the quality of your life. Once you understand, so you've got to really understand what needs changing, you can show up differently. And from here, you will see the important people in your life very differently. And you'll be able to become from a really empathetic stance. You're going to gain increased empowerment from being able to create your own destiny, not running a life on past thoughts, behaviors, and habits. And this is really important to get a grip with. There's nothing wrong with you. Few people know this, and this is why they fail. They fail to become creators of their own life and stay stuck living in the past. So right now, I just want you to think of your heart, and you can place your hand on your heart if that helps you, because I want you to really differentiate between the real you and those programs which are not you. They just affect 95% of your behaviors. The programs are in your mind. They have nothing to do with the true you. You are far greater than any program. You are far greater than any emotion you ever experience. If you feel anger, that does not make you an angry person. You're just experiencing anger because that program has been triggered. So your heart, the true you, always remains the same, the loving soul that you were born to be. And scientists now believe that emotional intelligence is far more important than your IQ. And this really is because you've got the power to improve your emotional intelligence, which is why this is our focus to lasting success. Because to be successful in life, you need to have a really good understanding of your emotional intelligence whilst continually developing this to achieve your objectives. And I've simplified this for you in my 5-step formula. So how does this work? I'm going to share with you 3 secrets as to why you haven't made the changes you so desperately want in your life. And there are 3 things you need to know. Most people don't know these, or even if they do, they don't know how to make the changes in their life or implement them. It's pointless knowing stuff if it doesn't become part of you. It's purely knowledge. After all, you want the changes to come naturally without thinking about them, just as those negative thoughts do, and those behaviors and those responses all come naturally to you right now. We can all learn stuff through books and courses and podcasts and therapy and coaching, but unless it becomes part of you, it's just more knowledge, it's just more information, and it's pretty useless. I'm going to teach you how to create the transformation that you will be able to become the real you, leaving that old self behind that was never you anyway, but just a host of other people's beliefs. So let's get into it. Secret number one. How anyone can transform their lives by implementing a few new habits a day. Because once you develop a new habit, you are no longer living in that exact past. Most of us are trying to change things around us, the people, the situation, the circumstances you're living in. Think about it right now. Changing and trying to change these things will never give you the fulfillment you're seeking. You'll be left depleted, exhausted, and much of the time, I bet you feel like giving up. This is hopeless. You feel useless. It's a bit like being really, really thirsty and you fill yourself up with chocolate. It doesn't work. And the good feelings you do create, if at all, just fade away. So you might leave your spouse, change your job, change your friends, move house, even move country. And guess what? The same patterns continue. Why? Because if you don't like the way life is, you have to change your perspective, not the things in it. And you can do this by implementing a few new habits each day. I help you to refocus all of your energy, courage, determination away from all of these physical things in your life so that you can look inside of you, to change how you see yourself, to begin to create an awareness of your triggers and see that when you feel anger, it's your anger that's been triggered. Your husband didn't make you feel that way. I promise you, he's got absolutely no power over you. And now you can own this anger. You can choose what to do with it. You can change it. You can let it go, work through it, examine it for what it's worth. This is empowerment, and all by just implementing a few new habits each day. And here we have Heather. Heather says, the emotional intelligence mastery class that Louise put together is amazing. She's learned so much and she's come such a long way. Heather spent more than 20 years in therapy, and she says this course has given her more information, tools and resources than she ever got in those 20 years, and she's forever thankful. Isn't that amazing? She spent 20 years looking in the wrong place. So for me, myself, I spent over 35 years trying to change my mother, my circumstances, the people around me. Not once did I ever look at changing myself. So those words, I don't love you, this is your stuff, I will never change, were absolutely the crux in me being the change in my life. So when you change your mindset and you implement a few new habits a day, things will start to change. Secret number 2. How you can get results even if you're struggling with self-confidence. So even if you're like me with zero self-confidence, you can still get results. You really can. Now this really is because you already understood that you're actually looking in the wrong place, and you now know where to look. You've got to look at yourself. The next secret with having zero confidence at all is that you are not going to change yourself. So you're not going to change anything about yourself. You are absolutely perfect. Remember, placing your hand on your heart, you're absolutely wonderful the way you are. What you're going to change is how you see yourself, because so many of us think we have to change ourselves. We've got to live in a better house. We've got to have that brilliant body. We've got to drive a nice car. We've got to go on exotic holidays. We've got to be an amazing cook. Whatever it is you're seeking to be or have in your life, believe it or not, it will not give you the happiness you're seeking. It could not be further from the truth, because all of these things give you a sense of comfort, not happiness and the success that you're seeking. So even if you have some of these things in your life, you will not feel that fulfilled happiness. Why? Simply because they're all part of your physical world. They're part of your identity. What you really want comes from much, much deeper inside. And I want to help you to look at changing the entire perspective of yourself without changing you at all. Because remember, you're already amazing, just as you are. You just don't see it. You're really seeking that satisfaction of being comfortable within your own skin, knowing that you're enough just as you are. That incredible feeling where you just want to leap out of bed in the morning. Remember when you were a child and you couldn't wait to get out of bed and ride your new bike, perhaps? That passion inside of you that drives you towards purpose. Remember the time you were made captain of the school netball team? You found your best friend. You got top marks in maths. You understood yourself and others around you. Remember comforting your friend when her boyfriend left her and she said you were the best. That's what happiness and success is about. That is enjoying an enriched life. And you can have all of this with zero self-confidence. And as you peel off each layer, you'll begin to feel more and more like the real you. That joy and that peace, which is exactly what Laurie found. She says before finding the course, she knew things had to change inside of her, but she didn't know how to change them and felt so stuck. But now she's got the tools to reconcile her conscious and her subconscious mind. She's learned to love herself and stop berating herself for all her imperfections. She's got eternal thanks, and she'd recommend this course to anyone who's ready to experience life on a much more present and loving level. The earlier the better, she says. These tools can be used and reused as you work your way through everything that life throws at you. And I really was at the lowest point in my life. I really was. I had zero confidence at all in anything I did. And I really did not believe that any change would happen in my life. But because I started to make some internal changes in my life, although I didn't believe it, things did start to change. They really did start to change. What you have to ask yourself right now is, do I want to continue as I am? Do I want to continue as I am? You don't have to know who you want to be or where you want to go. You just have to know that you don't want to be where you are right now. This time it is going to be different. So secret number 3, why you actually only need 15 minutes a day to start transforming your life. Now you've learned that you're not looking outside of yourself anymore, and you're not trying to change people and situations in your life, and the focus is on changing how you see yourself. It's really time to share with you secret number 3. And this is how to change your automatic programming that drives 95% of your behaviors. And if you just did this for 15 minutes a day, you would honestly change your life. Up until now, my guess is you've been using your conscious mind to make changes, and it's taken a huge amount of determination, strength and time to make those changes, but they don't last, and it's left you completely exhausted. Making conscious decisions drives around 5% of your behaviors. So if you've got a program in the subconscious that says you're completely hopeless, that will always drive you regardless of what your conscious mind says, nothing will change. You can see the internal battle. And most of our programs are actually laid down before we are 7 years old. And they all determine how we think, feel and act. So if you want real change, we must rewire this part of our mind. We can do this in several ways. Some are much quicker than others, but one of the most powerful ways is through hypnosis. And this is a very effective way of accessing the subconscious mind, so we can heal old painful wounds or fill ourselves with positive suggestions, which is why I created the confidence boosting hypnosis recording for you so you can really start filling that important area of your mind with those positive suggestions. Which brings me on to Susie, because Susie really came to me when she felt she was absolutely at rock bottom. And she really did not know what to do next. But she reached out for help, and now she says, through working through the course, it has had the most incredible impact on her life. She's got direction, purpose, and a vision for her future. And that is Susie from Nairobi. So it's all about tapping into the right part of the mind. I spent years trying to make changes in my life. I spent hours reading, saying affirmations, repeating positive mantras, creating goals, you name it. I did it. I worked extremely hard, but nothing ever changed. I actually just gathered knowledge. I've actually been a member of a mastermind for many, many years where people are hugely knowledgeable, all about personal development in the mind. But guess what? Nothing's changed in their lives because they're not implementing the information. They're tapping into the wrong part of the mind. So in my opinion, it's pointless knowing all this stuff unless you implement it and change your life, which is why I created a 5-step formula which guarantees success. Contrary to belief, as most people are trying to change themselves into something they aren't, I help you to change the perspective you have of you. You're not changing yourself at all. Remember, you're that perfect being, and I keep repeating that because you are. You're changing how you see yourself, which affects your perspective of your entire life. So this formula is made up of creating awareness of your emotions, choosing how you react to your thoughts and feelings, understanding people who they really are and not what they're portraying, healing and restoration, internal innovation, having the clarity and the knowledge to be the creator of your destiny. So having this new perspective, why does my formula work? Simply because determination doesn't work. Using your conscious mind does not work. We have to focus on the subconscious part of the mind that drives 95% of your behaviors. Look at our worldwide obesity problem, our huge financial issues, and the poor relationships so many of us develop. Ask anyone who's tried to lose weight and ends up on the yo-yo cycle of losing weight and putting more back on simply because we're not addressing the issue. I've witnessed up-teen people on their third marriage, different partners, jobs, countries, exactly the same behavior, but they don't see it. We need to look way beyond the conscious mind so our new ways of behaving and feeling become natural and familiar to us. This is living life in the flow without the internal battles that we all face. We need to access the subconscious part of the mind, which is responsible for all of our programs that determine our behaviors. So how do you even know you're emotionally unhealthy? You feel numb and disconnected from the world around you. You suffer from anxiety and depression. You stay stuck on that hamster wheel. You're unable to face pain. You inflict it onto others, and you're triggered into behaving irrationally by people and situations. So you can ask yourself right now, is this you? How do you even know that you're emotionally healthy? Well, perhaps you can work through negative emotions and learn the valuable experience they're teaching you. You can take total responsibility for yourself. You feel light and have clarity in where you're heading. You can deal with any challenging situation, and you're able to push out of your comfort zone, taking small steps to expand into another world. So if you're ready to learn how to change the perspective of you and leave that past behind, why not give me a yes in the chat box? Because I'm really going to give you the tools today. I'm going to share with you the exact formula that I use with all of my clients, so you really can begin to leave that past behind, regardless of your childhood, regardless of where you are right now in your life. The 5 steps are becoming consciously aware, you choosing your behaviors, you becoming socially aware, showing up without your agenda and being there for that person, knowing how to heal and restore your inner wounds, and focusing on changing your subconscious programming. And now that you've completed all the 4 steps, it will be time for you to create your destiny, not allowing the past to dictate your future anymore. So let's briefly run through these steps. So the first one is all about becoming consciously aware. Becoming aware of the emotions you feel are coming from the inside and are triggered from outside responses. You can understand how you feel and know how to deal with your emotional state. Within this awareness, you acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses, your self-confidence, and you know you are responsible for every single action you take. You really are. So how can you become consciously aware of your thoughts and your feelings? You can close your eyes and take some deep breaths and ask how your body feels. Note the sensations in your body. This is you becoming aware. You can label this emotion. You can notice your immediate surroundings, the chair you're sitting on, the path you're walking on. Focus on chewing your food when you're eating. Take the time to sit and reflect on how you feel. Just ask yourself the questions. Ask yourself how your emotions are influencing your behaviors. Notice what situations trigger those feelings and understand that no one is doing anything to you. The personal situation is triggering something you already have. They are never the cause. It's your self-talk from the emotion that you are feeling that causes the pain. Once this self-talk is acknowledged, you become empowered to make the changes so you can feel better. Accept these feelings, and as you face them, you will develop a confidence that you can handle this in different situations. Now, here's something to hold on to. Learn to stop for a few moments and take a breath before you answer any question or decide on any action. Give yourself a few moments of time. Ask yourself some questions and record your answers in a journal. How do I feel about this situation? What can I do about it? What effect would this action have on others and me? Could I ask for help? And once you understand and validate these emotions, you can move on to making a choice to change the ones that keep you from moving forwards. You really can do this. So let's move on to how to choose behaviors which serve you. Notice what thoughts you're thinking to yourself when you're picturing the triggering event, in particular, any toxic patterns. Your thoughts automatically trigger emotions and physical sensations in the body. This is how the brain works. So really notice anything physically going on. Watch these from a safe distance. You become the observer. Don't judge, just notice. Watch that as a visual. When a disturbing thought surfaces, imagine you're in a luxurious speeding train looking out of the window and observe any upset thoughts. Quickly speed past the window whilst you sit comfortably in your safe seat. Start a journal and record the very first thing you tell yourself when you feel this negative emotion, as this is where the energetic charge lies. You know, it's all about choice. You are now in a position to choose what you think and feel because you have such an awareness. Remind yourself constantly that you are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions. Emotions are just energy. And what you are feeling are pockets of intensely charged energy linked to past wounds. As the choice maker of your life, you may choose, if you wish, to breathe into any painful energy. Notice it shift, move, release. You can choose to affirm the power you have as a choice maker to accept your painful feelings as natural based on the circumstances of what you may be telling yourself. You can calmly and confidently affirm, I accept that I'm feeling anger at this moment. You can also say these words to yourself. I see you, I acknowledge you, and now I release you. And if possible, say these out loud. Remind yourself that you're strong and you're able to handle any emotion wisely, easily, and calmly. Just say it. You don't have to believe it. Then refocus on a picture in your mind that lifts your vibration. You choose where your focus lies. Ask yourself if these negative thoughts and emotions are truly yours, or have you heard them somewhere before? Are they purely learnt behaviours from childhood? The reason you feel so out of alignment is because you're not being true to you, but living someone else's behavioural pattern. You can say to yourself, I choose to let go of this thought, and physically see in your mind an arm letting the thought go. Practice the act of gratitude. This will allow your mindset to change so you come from an abundant place and not one of lack. So you naturally focus on positive thoughts flowing into your mind. Keep a record in a little book of the small things you feel grateful for on a daily basis. Because when you are in charge of choosing your emotions, it's going to change so much in your life. You're going to be able to be heard. You'll have a voice. You're going to stand your ground. You're going to create clear boundaries for yourself. You're going to say no without the guilt. You're going to feel empowered and in control. You are no longer being governed by your emotions. You will gain trust in yourself as you learn to face challenges and problems in a state of mind that you choose. Your circumstances are no longer dictating your emotions. You feel more optimistic in life as you choose to focus on the positives in any given situation and not the negatives. As you are more in control of your inner thoughts, you'll gain integrity and honesty as you become transparent in your behaviors, simply because you've got absolutely nothing to hide anymore. You're going to feel so much more flexible in your attitude when overcoming any obstacle. You honestly will. And these are some exciting things for you to really look forward to. How do you even become socially aware? Okay. Listen and pay attention to what that person is saying. Most of us are working out our reply as the other person is talking. Sense others' emotions, understand their perspective, take an interest in them. Don't make it about yourself. Practice self-hypnosis to learn that the learning will give you a much greater understanding of yourself, which will allow you to understand others. Start to identify other people's emotional states, not yours. Take the focus away from you. Take a deep breath. Pause for a few moments before you reply to anyone, and be very clear in response to avoid confusion. Do not make specific global statements. Use statements that start with the word I. I think, I feel, I would love some help. Always state the issue first, then the request. For example, I'm not happy with this mess and I would love you to give me a hand, please. Start a journal and note your behavior on a daily basis with your partner, your husband, your boss, your children, other family members, close friends, shopkeepers. This will allow you to be very aware of your behavior towards others. Start writing your successes in a little journal. Write 5 things every day, however small they are, and this will really expand. Which moves us on to how you can really heal and restore your thoughts and feelings. Make sure you spend quality time alone. Most of us will avoid being alone. We'll scroll through social media, we'll put the television on, we'll do anything but be alone with our own thoughts. Get used to it. Make yourself do it. Spend time with your emotions. For example, if you're feeling upset with your husband because he never compliments you, start to dig a little deeper, and you might find the emotion beneath this is in fact the fact that you're feeling really insecure about yourself, and it's got nothing whatsoever to do with him or what he's saying. Start to challenge those negative, deep thoughts and notice if the thought is distorted when you try and stop yourself and evaluate whether it's accurate. Are you globalizing it? Think about how you would respond if a friend spoke about herself that way. Apply the same logic to your own thoughts. Ask yourself if you're assuming the worst will happen or blaming yourself for something that's not gone the way you wanted. And then think about other possible outcomes or reasons that something turned out differently than you hoped. Journal your most negative, significant thoughts, the most recurrent ones that come up day in, day out, in a little book. And you'll see a pattern form over time. This is your indication as to what thoughts and behaviors are driving you. And it's these thoughts that make your decisions. And as healing is a process we use to restore your greatness so you feel whole again, one of the fastest ways, as I've mentioned before, is to access the inner part of your subconscious mind, where your memories and traumas are stored. You can use techniques such as meditation, start a meditation practice, hypnosis, and timeline therapy. They really do work, but they take a small amount of time, morning and evening, or perhaps just the morning, or perhaps just the evening. Just start with 5 minutes, but make a start. As you start this meditation practice, or if you've already got one already, take it up down to a new level, go a little bit deeper. Because in this meditation practice, as your body relaxes, your conscious mind will switch off. And as it switches off, your subconscious mind will come to the surface. This is the part where all of your memories, emotions, and behaviors and feelings are stored. You'll be able to face your inner wounds. You'll be able to face the hurt, the pain, the anger, the resentment, the stress, and the sadness, allowing you to work through them. So you'll see them in a new light. You'll be able to forgive others, forgive yourself. You'll drain the energy, the negative energy from that wound. And once the energy is drained from these inner wounds, they no longer drive you. They no longer affect your behaviors. So you can then be the creator of the emotions that are going to serve you in life. Which brings me on to you becoming the creator of your destiny. Because once you've put those 4 processes together, being aware of your own emotions, being able to choose how you react and behave, accurately perceiving the emotions of others, you are going to be able to be the creator of your destiny. You no longer live by someone else's rules or by past behaviors. You understand your true core values. You can discover what your passions are. You can set an intention. This is the why behind your goal. It's like a drawing map of your life. How do you want it to look? And from this intention, you can create a SMART goal. This is a concrete milestone. You can look at your goal as if it's a destination or a journey. Visualize this goal with emotion using all of your senses, which is going to allow you to think that the event has already occurred. So it knows what you want, and you naturally take the steps towards this goal. Your mind does not know the difference between an event in your physical world and an event in something that you have vividly created in your mind. You really are forming new neural pathways and retraining your mind to create a new destiny. And you can only do this once you've released some of those negative emotions, those self-sabotaging behaviors that are keeping you stuck, that are driving your life. So we have to face those past wounds, those past hurts, those past pains, drain the energy out of them, and then we create a space, like a vacuum in our mind, and you'll then be able to create what it is you want in life. So you become the creator. It's really, really exciting. So what is the one thing that all these people have in common? All these people that I've worked with, you've seen some of the testimonials. What do they all have in common? That is the question we ask ourselves. They have one thing in common. They had just had enough of living the way they were. So ask this question to yourself right now. Have you had enough of living the way you are right now? And they were also prepared to put in the work that they needed to do to see themselves differently. So what if you also felt the same as them? What if you felt ready to leave your past behind? So just take a moment now and imagine how life would look if you didn't have that little voice in your mind reminding you how useless you are, how you'll never change, how you'll always have destructive relationships in your life and no money and poor health, and that inner critic reminding you of your past behaviors, that awful childhood, those terrible experiences. Just imagine having none of that. It's really hard, isn't it? Really, really hard, I know. Why? Because this is your familiar way of thinking. This is what you've been taught and led to believe is true. So how do I know it's not your belief? Simply because you're having this internal argument inside of yourself. You know this is untrue. A true belief gives you peace. Your thoughts are aligned with your feelings and actions. So imagine feeling at peace with yourself and the world. What does this look like to you? Well, you know what? I'm not here to convince you what it is you want. You already know that. I'm just honestly here to help you. And I want to share with you right now some of the things that are going through your mind. And it will be things like, I can't do the work. Perhaps you've tried things before and they didn't work. So why would this work for me? Oh, this isn't for me. I always fail. It won't work. I don't feel I'm worth investing time and money in. I don't even have the time or the money. Well, here's the most amazing thing. I had all of these fears. I failed so many times at various programs. I've invested in courses. I felt worthless and useless. That was me. And also these stories you're telling yourself are the exact ones my clients also told themselves. So you're not alone. But if you've had enough of feeling like you do, acting like you do, living on that hamster wheel, you have to do something different. And that's what this program is. Completely different to any other. It incorporates the therapy, healing, and coaching. And something else, in case you're wondering, you don't have to do it all. You don't have to complete the work. You can work at your own pace. There's no right or wrong. So even if you just use one of the tools, you're going to be in a much better place than you were last week, guaranteed. It's all about taking the tiny steps together. It's not about finishing the course. It's not about looking for the transformation at the end. It's all about doing what's right for you at that very moment. So even if you just do a few exercises and listen to a couple of the hypnosis recordings, your life will begin to change. Why? Because you're changing the right things. You're looking in the right places. You're focused on the bits that need changing. Have you had enough of that hamster wheel doing the same thing day in, day out where nothing ever changes? Living on false hopes, waking up in that black cloud, walking around, feeling anxious, feeling hopeless. You hate looking in the mirror. You dread going to work. You're fed up with the long silences. You hate that desperate loneliness, although you sleep right next to your partner. I get the exact picture. Why do I get that picture? Because all of this was me. And this is why I'm so excited to share with you my formula that can change all of this. I walk the talk, I really do. I'm actually living a totally different life. And this is what I want for you. You're going to feel in control of not only your emotions of how you think and feel, but also in control of how your life is unfolding. You are responsible for your feelings. You're going to feel empowered in the actions you take, in dealing with challenges. You're going to be able to face fears, take risks, and know you're going to be okay, whatever the outcome. You're going to let go of controlling others and situations way beyond your control and enjoy the freedom and energy this gives you. You're going to be so much more positive. You're going to have so much more mind space. You're going to fulfill your purpose. You're going to have so much more time to do the things you love in life because you've simply let go of negative, unhelpful thoughts and patterns. You're going to feel light and free. And you know what? There are no limits. You are not going to be constrained anymore by your mindset. So really imagine living a life that you've created. Only you can decide it. We've all got choice in life. Your happiness in life is totally down to you, no one else. But just think how it will be to learn to see yourself in a brand new way, to learn how to love yourself, to see your life from a new perspective. Could this really be yours? Could it really be? Yes! But here's the thing. You have to take action. You will not get anywhere doing the same thing, thinking the same thoughts. I did it for 35 years. I promise you it doesn't work. Trying the same things and just living in hope. You have to be the change. I just want to ask your permission. Do I have your permission to share my 5-step formula program? If so, just give me a yes in the chat box. A few years ago, I used to get approached by people asking if they knew anyone who could help them get unstuck and stop living in the past and create a future they really wanted. These people had no idea what I did. I run a really busy interactive Facebook group filled with over 5,000 amazing women. And they didn't even know I was a coach or a therapist. This was so terrible. This was so terrible because I thought to myself, how am I going to share all this wonderful knowledge I've learned? How am I going to share all these transformations if people don't even know what I do? No one even in my tribe knew what I did. So I had to change all of that. So nowadays, I make sure that everyone knows what I do, what is available to them. And if it resonates with you, just fantastic. And if not, that's also great. I wish you well on your journey. You know, we're all on our journeys and we all need different tools and we all need different support along the way. But today I'd love to share with you my special program that will really stop you living in the past so you can create a future you really do want. So I started to create offers and campaigns and I started to let people know that I could help them. And it's been, you know, honestly, the best thing ever, as I seriously can't keep this stuff to myself anymore. So, what are you waiting for? I spent over 10 years developing the most comprehensive course on emotional intelligence. It's all about healing your inner wounds so you can design a life that you really want. There are 12 modules jam-packed with content that's like gold. Hypnosis recordings, worksheets, PDF. This is all you will ever need to make the changes in your life. The program is yours for life. You can repeat it as many times as you choose, and I'm so confident you're really going to love the process. There's no other course available like this at all. It goes from deep healing to coaching you towards those incredible dreams. I take you from your lowest point and I gently guide you to a place you never thought possible. When you do want to stop thinking about your problems, when you do want to stop feeling you're trapped, when will you have had enough? Well, you know what? You're in the right place. Let's just do this. And this is actually what Kenna said, because she says the course completely changed her world. She says it's been one of the best things she's ever done for herself. She says, Louise has been with me every step of the way and answered any question I had. She lacked complete self-worth, didn't know how much self-worth she actually lacked until she started the course. She's now so much stronger, confident. It's completely life-changing. She'd recommend this course to anyone who wants to overcome their struggles and really be the best version of themselves. And that is the lovely Kenna. So included in the course are 12 90-minute in-depth therapy and coaching sessions. And this is all about my 5-step formula, Emotional Intelligence Mastery. So each week you have a brand new module packed with everything you need and more to transform your life, leaving that past behind. You will hear me presenting the very best way to release that hurt and pain, and I will show you the exact formula I use to create a future that you really crave but actually don't believe you can have. I've included 10 hypnosis recordings because hypnosis is one of the most powerful tools that allows the conscious mind to relax so your subconscious mind comes to the fore. And as you've learned, it's the part of the mind where all your programs are stored. So you can make the changes that you need to in your programs. True confidence comes from within, and these recordings will help you to believe and accept that you really are that wonderful, amazing person. And as you begin to feel more confident within yourself, this will project onto others and it will make them more responsive to you. Your communication skills will improve and you will begin to radiate a real vibrant inner glow. So start listening for success today and you will soon begin to be much happier and more confident in your life. And as I promised you, I have a confidence boosting recording for you as a special gift to take away at the end of the webinar in a moment. I've also included on the course PDF workbooks, and there's some conscious behavioral therapy worksheets as well, because whilst we are changing those subconscious programs using the hypnosis and visualization, there are a series of workbooks for you to actively release some of those old beliefs and cement some new beliefs in your mind. These workbooks really help to keep you focused throughout the course and for you to dig a little bit deeper as well. We have the most amazing private Facebook community. I have people in there who say they want to be in there forever, and that warms my heart so much because I really want to ensure that you're fully supported throughout the course. It's an incredible place to share your struggles and your wins. You never have to reveal anything about your past behaviors or your intimate details or your childhood or whatever. We are there. We're all suffering in similar ways and we all want the same thing. And it's a wonderful community that creates a sense of belonging and that you really do matter. You will also get 4 live group healing sessions, and these really do enhance your transformation. And not only that, I'm going to gift you my wonderful little book. It's 84 days of pure inspiration, and it's really to support you along your journey. It's where we meet with gratitude and clear intentions and powerful affirmations, and there's a lot of law of attraction in there, and also its sub-laws, which will really improve your life and encourage you to take the action. So all of that is included in this course. You've got your 12 90-minute therapy sessions, your 10 hypnosis recordings, you've got the little my little book on how to be amazing in your life, you've got the PDF workbooks, you've got the CBT program, you've got the Facebook community, and you've got the 4 live group healing sessions. So I really have given you everything you really do need, and it's going to be everything you need to take you from that really dark place so that you can create a future that's yours and stop living someone else's beliefs. This is truly the only way to enjoy life and really make the time, that we've got here on earth together. So you can see if you'd add all of those things up, they come to some total of $3,817.97. But what I really want for you, I really, really want you to leave this past behind where it belongs and to really be successful whilst creating a future that you so crave and you so desire. And so that is why I am giving you the course, the Emotional Intelligence Mastery online course. I want you to have absolutely full access to everything I've shared with you for simply $297. And that is all. And that I'm going to give you full access to everything that I talked about for $297. And why now? You might be asking yourself, why would I do this now? Ask yourself, and why not? What am I waiting for? For things to be easier, for something to be quicker, for someone to create the magic pill? The magic is in the work. Trust me, you will not regret this. There's no better time to start enjoying your life. Life is supposed to be enjoyed and a pleasure, regardless of your age, regardless of your childhood, regardless of where you are today. You really do have 2 choices. You can stay exactly where you are right now, living miserably in the past and living in hope that something will change, that I did for 35 years. Or you can take this opportunity today and start being the creator of your new future right now. I offer complete 100% satisfaction. If for whatever reason you don't like the program, you can cancel it at any time. We have the most amazing customer service that will support you, so you don't have to worry about that. You can access the course anytime, anywhere, on your iPad, your phone, your computer, your laptop, whatever is convenient for you. You can access the course wherever you choose, 24 hours around the clock. I have sent the link to this amazing, fantastic deal in the chat section. You'll see the link there, so just click on the link to access this course right now. And then once you've clicked on the link, you will be taken through a process and you will have everything to get you started right now at the tips of your fingers. So that is where you can access the link to the course. And as I promised you, you will also find in the chat box the link to the free PDF to start your transformational journey, plus the link for the confidence boosting hypnosis recording. So you've got those links in there as well. I've also put a link in there in the chat box for you, my Calendly link for you to book a call with me if you just want a friendly chat, just to discuss any of the options available to you. So, huge congratulations for completing this training tonight. You've made an incredible start to your transformation. I really look forward to welcoming you onto my online course, or booking a chat with me, or a member of my team will get in contact with you, and you can start your transformation today. Huge congratulations, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Bye bye for now.